Okay, I know I'm focused at the ceiling right now, but that's where my camera gets to be while I'm waiting on glue to dry and other things. So it's time for me to start readying the top for braces. Now I tend to not thickness the top and get the top ready until I am absolutely certain it's time for me to put braces on it and then glue the back and sides to that top. Because I don't like my top to have the opportunity to move before I glue it up. So, what I've got right now, so that we're all on the same page, is that I have all of the sides bent. I said both sides bent. I have all of the binding bent. I have all the linings bent. I have the tentallones made. I have all the braces pretty much cut and ready to glue on. I have the neck ready to go, and I have the fretboard pretty much ready to go. Yeah, so I like to have everything together first. So that being the case, I have applied a interior sort of finish to the back of my guitar. The braces are done on that, and the reason I've done that is because there are two things. Number one, I think it looks better when you look in the sound hole of the guitar, and number two, I like the back to have some reflective properties. Now it will, just based on the wood. I've thinned it down to the plan, basically where it is, and applied a thin layer of hot high glue across the entire interior of the back. That will also help me when I go to fit the back to the sides, when I'm closing the box of the guitar, because hot high glue I can reactivate and glue to itself when I get it warm again. So when I get ready to fit the back and I start applying glue around the edges, if I make sure that both edges are good and warm, when I stick them together they will tack together, and that's important because then they will glue very nicely for me. And the glue I'm using does have a good open time. I'm using the Piggly No Wiggly from Lost Art Press. They have a recipe on their forum online that you can download and find, and it's very easy to make, and probably one of the easiest glues to make and use once you've got it ready to go. So you can use, I should preface this, you can use Titebond to do all of this. You can do Titebond to do the whole guitar. You can use CA glue to do the whole guitar, although I don't recommend it, because those glues are much less likely to be able to be reversed if there's an issue later on down the road. So, for instance, let's say that you are 10 years down the road and a brace comes loose, and now you have a rattle in the guitar. If you use Titebond or CA glue or some polyethylene glue or whatever it is, you may not be able to do that. You may have to take the entire guitar apart, sand that, take that brace completely out, clean that area completely, and then make a new brace and go. Whereas with hot glue, all I have to do is reactivate the glue in the joint, press it down good and firmly, and it will re-glue itself. So that's what I'm going for here. Alright, so here we are. Today we're working on thicknessing the top. Now, understand, thicknessing the top is just like thicknessing the back. It's just going to go a lot faster because the wood for the top is much softer. So you have to be careful and take care that you're not going too far. Okay? So, basically, I've got a trusty number 3 here. Make sure we're set up good. I can take a pretty good shaving with this. Alright, so again, crisscross, flip, crisscross. My plan calls for this to be 2 millimeters around the perimeter and 2.1 in the center, which shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. When I'm getting close to that, I will very much begin doing a tap tone because I need, and checking the flexibility because I need to make sure that I keep some of that in the guitar. So I said, it will go fast. Flip this around. Okay, I'm going to check back with y'all when I get a bit closer, but you now see the process. We go one way, go the other way, flip it around, repeat the process until you get close. Alright, so here we are. I am not quite there yet. I think I'm about 2.2, 2.4 millimeters. Yeah, I'm still a little bit out from where I need to be. But you'll notice that I'm starting to get some flexibility in the top, and some mix of tones. The pitch is lowering. So what I'm doing is I'm going to continue working on this. I'm a little bit lower in the middle than I am on the edges, so I'm going to work on the edges. And so what I will probably do is come along the direction of the grain, and we'll work from that point. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back with this once I've got it all in, clamped down. Alright, so like I said, I'm just going to try and get the high spots here. I'm going to work each side. So I'll be flipping it around. I have pulled the plane blade back just a little. And you know what I may do, depending on how this works, I may roll with a different plane. We'll see. Yeah. Alright, so I have a lot of flexibility now. Check this tone. Dropped quite a bit. I need one more round. And mostly on the edges. My interior seems to be right where I need it. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So I'm flexing it. I'm looking to see how flexible that top is. And I know that my middle is more flexible than my edges for the most part, though we're getting really close. There's just a couple of things. Alright, because of how close I am, I'm going to switch from planing to scraping, because I want to make sure this is all ready to go. And once I've done that, I will move on to the next part. So it's pretty much here. This top is ready to go for the most part, but I'm gonna do just a little bit more. Before I do that, I want to show you what the floor should look like. So the floor should look like this. Should be covered in shavings. Alright, so that gives you a good idea of what we're doing here. So I'm going to get the scraper out. I'm going to scrape it. I move a few things here in order to get to that. Alright, now remember that you will be able to sand or scrape the top once it's on the guitar and all glued up. The interior needs to be done, so depending on how thick your inlay is, you may be able to see it a little bit once you've got your top to thickness here. So just understand that that's something that might occur. Okay, so here's, I'm able to bend it pretty good. Feels light, feels flexible. It's making the prerequisite sounds. Alright, so I'm going to turn you off for now. I'm going to come back, I'm going to be starting to put some layout on here and some bracing.